Jimmy Garoppolo versus Colin Kaepernick. Dad, you go first.
Oh, okay. I want to preface this by saying I have very little respect for Colin Kaepernick as a quarterback.
Sure.
So you know where I'm going
Of
with this. I
course.
mean, I really don't like his work. I don't like a quarterback who is a one read quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
One read, you don't know how to read the rest of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, number three, Steve did, Joe did, they learned it. Where were you? Weren't you learning those things too? So with this guy, it's a one read and then he runs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Um, I don't like now early in his career, he had success. I think the league caught up to him, but something else. I don't think, again, I don't know. I don't live with him. I don't think he worked that hard at his craft. I saw how hard Steve worked, Steve Young, to stop being a running quarterback and to learn to be a throwing quarterback. Bill didn't want a running quarterback. I saw how hard Steve worked. I don't think Kaepernick worked that hard. I don't think it even meant that much to him.
Well, I
So,
have a story real quick that backs up what you're saying. From what I heard, the playbooks are not playbooks anymore. They're in
right,
tablets. And the team can track how much time each player spends in the quote unquote playbook. And from what I heard in that final season, he was on the team in 2016. Blaine Gabbert, the backup, spent 5 times as much time in that playbook than Kaepernick did. Like Kaepernick was treating it as like a 9 to 5. You come to work, you
right.
practice, you go home, and you forget about it. So yes,
Okay, that was the word around the team. Now, we don't know if it's
we
gospel.
don't.
You didn't talk to coaches. This was the word. We can't say it's absolutely true, but I tend to believe it is. Okay, Jimmy. Jimmy works hard.
Mm,
Jimmy had to work hard to learn that whole offense.
mhm.
He did learn the offense. And Iggy, he makes mistakes sometimes, but you can see him go 1, 2, 3 right across the field. I mean, you could see his head move.
Yeah.
And so I have tremendous respect for how he has mastered a really difficult offense with, I don't think Kaepernick would even be interested in doing that. I also think he's a much more accurate passer. I have much more confidence in him throwing the ball than Kaepernick. Now, again, he can't throw it as far as Kaepernick well, but he really is a quarterback. He has beautiful touch. That's the other thing. Kaepernick didn't have touch.
Mm-hmm.
It was bombs away every pass,
Mm-hmm.
even if it required finesse. So no, it's not even close for me. What about you?
Okay, I'm picking Colin Kaepernick. I am, and I'm going to tell you why. Uh, Jimmy Garoppolo at 28 was better than Colin Kaepernick at 28. Colin Kaepernick wasn't a bad quarterback. He was a disappointment because when Colin Kaepernick was 24, he was a hell of a player, Dad. Hell of a player. And when he was 25, he was too. And it's been a few years, but I just want to remind you, Jimmy just had a great year in the regular season. His quarterback rating was super high. He won a bunch of games. In the playoffs, his quarterback rating was 75, and he took a back seat for most of the time. When Colin Kaepernick was the 49ers starting quarterback, those 2 years that he made the runs in the Super Bowl, to the NFC Championship and to the Super Bowl the one year, he was the offense. Like there were games in Seattle where he would account for 85% of the yards in terms of passing and running. Jimmy isn't that guy. Jimmy was just basically watching in the playoffs. And Colin Kaepernick was the engine of an offense in the playoffs. And his winning percentage in the playoffs is just as good as Jimmy's. Jimmy should go beyond Colin because Colin never improved past 25 years old. But when he was 25, I thought he was just as good as Andrew Luck. Even though he was a one-read quarterback, his ability to run was the best I'd ever seen at that position before Lamar Jackson. And defenses really, really had a problem with him for 2 seasons. And Jimmy Garoppolo, he hasn't had much more than 2 seasons either, so it's a comparison.
Okay, fair enough. Iggy, what were those passes to Michael Crabtree that got knocked out? Well, tell me about those passes.
Yeah, they were at the goal line. They had the
Where?
chance to
What
win the
was
Super
that?
Bowl.
Super Bowl?
The what part? Yeah, Colin Kaepernick. He missed Michael Crabtree in the end zone a few times,
Was
similar
it?
to Jimmy
Wait a minute.
Garoppolo.
Wait a minute. Was it 3 times?
3 times. Yep. So he missed 3 passes, which is similar to Jimmy Garoppolo missing 8 passes in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. They both really did their thing down the stretch.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, last guy.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no,
Wait
you
a
want to
minute.
go?
I want to have the
Okay.
last word. As
Okay.
far as I agree that you made a very good case against Alex Smith, but on this one,